Hey there, welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to share with you 5 life lessons that it has taken me 60 years to learn, it seems sometimes. All right, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these 5 lessons, I'm going to count them down from number 5 all the way to number one being the one that I think is most important and the one that I want to share with you. If you don't get anything else from this video, I hope that's the one that you get. All right, let's get started. Number 5, you don't always have to be right. That's something that's been very hard for me to learn over the years because of my ego or lack of feeling good about myself, whatever it is. For years, I felt like I had to be right in any conversation. When I started letting that go, I was like, okay, my life is getting better. You want your life to get better? You don't have to be right all the time. You don't have to argue with idiots and try to prove them that you're right. All right, number 4. This was a tough one for me. Your career is not your identity. I'm a retired school teacher, and for a long time, I wrestled with who I actually was. You know, am I a teacher? Was I a teacher? Yes, but that's not who I was. And that doesn't mean I'm faking it. It just means that I have to separate the two. One is what I do or what I did, and one is who I am. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of us have to really learn the hard way. What I do is not who I am. It might be a reflection, but it is not who you are. Okay? So you got to quit confusing those two. Just separate those two and you can move on. All right. Number 3, take should out of your self talk. I used to tell myself all the time, I should do this, I should lose weight, I should eat better, I should work out, I should be a better teacher, I should be a better parent, I should be a better husband. All of these things. What happens when we start telling ourselves all these shoulds is that the negativity builds up. We're telling ourselves that we're not good enough. Okay? That doesn't mean that we give up on trying to be better. It means that we stop telling ourselves that we're not good enough and beating ourselves up by adding all these shoulds into our life. All right, let's go to the next one. Number 2, you got to stop expecting people to be who they aren't. That's been a tough one for me, because I tried to hold other people to a certain standard, and maybe I was trying to hold them to a standard that I wouldn't even hold myself to. But whatever it is, you got to quit expecting people to be who they really aren't. Uh, I've been kind of one to take on projects over the years. I was accused once of taking in strays, so that's kind of a bad term to use. But and I know friends who do that. One of my daughters was bad for that for a long time. She'd see somebody that that she knew needed help, and she would try to help them, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, we do that. That's a kind thing, the right thing to do, I suppose. Is try to help people if we can, but we can't just stand back and expect people to be who they really aren't. That's a tough one. All right, I told you I'd share the one that I think is the most important, and that is stop trying to be who you aren't. I think that's one of the worst things that we can do is we start trying to live up to others' expectations. We start comparing our lives with other people's lives, and then we start trying to be somebody that we're not. One of the things that probably made my life better, and I do think it's the most important thing that I've ever figured out to make my life better, is to just stop trying to be who I'm not. I have to come to terms with who I am. Okay, what kind of a person I am, who I am on the inside, with all the flaws and all the bad things that go on in my life. I am who I am. And accepting that that's who I am does not mean I'm giving up on improving. Doesn't mean I'll never try to change. No, doesn't mean that at all. Because I change every day, hopefully for the better. Uh, but I am who I am. And for some people, they're never going to accept me. They're never going to like me. And that's their problem. I am who I am. You need to stop trying to change who you are or convince yourself that you're not who you really are. Embrace yourself. Love yourself. That's my advice. Thanks for watching.